that you had with Chicago last month, do you take anything from that, or do you just chalk it up to that was a tough stretch for the team in general?
No, I mean, they outplayed us in the end, so we have to identify what they did well. Their power play scored 2 similar goals with Bertuzzi on the back post. I think one of them was a little bit fortunate, but the other one's a set play. We have to be aware of that. Both their special teams are top 10 in the league, so they're clearly a good team when they're killing or on the power play. It's 5-on-5. We got to try to exploit. We didn't do a good enough job with that last time. I think they got to the front of our net a little too easily last time. We need to be harder in those areas. So that's what we're looking at from that last game. I know it's a while ago, but we have to be cognizant of what they do well and play better in those areas.
Off the ice, what kind of response are you looking for from him?
Well, from everybody, right? It wasn't the third period we wanted, so he's part of that. So hopefully he's up to the challenge early on here today. We had Hilly originally scheduled Saturday, Monday, but Aiden Monday morning wasn't feeling great, so this was going to be Sammy's game all along. So another opportunity for him, and hopefully he's ready to go.
Little shuffle in the lines. Did it start with putting Stone and Eichel back together, or did it start somewhere else?
It started basically we're not scoring enough, to be honest, so let's move some pieces around. Stone and Eichel have played together, so obviously there's opportunity to go. Let's see what Sad looks like with them. Barbie's been there a lot. Barbie's going with Howie and Kolasar just to get his forecheck game going again. I think it's a big part of his game when he's on. Hurdle's played with Pav a lot and Olesen, so that's not a big switch. Lavoie is pretty new to everybody, so Pearson and Waugh have been together a long time, so that's a little bit of Jack and Stoney have been off a few days too, so maybe a little bit of juice back together. That was by design as well. The guys at Four Nations, we wanted to give them an opportunity to sort of mentally recharge, so that's the thinking.
Bruce, you obviously talked about the third period, didn't go the way you guys wanted on Monday. We're at that point in the season, it's the final quarter, final stretch, whatever it is. Is there any comfort on your end knowing that the room is full of guys who have been there, done that, knowing that it can be corrected, can be fixed in a pretty quick way?
I don't like reading about that, to be honest, because you got to get out there and do it, right? Like, if that was the case, every team that's been there and done it would be the, you know what I mean? So every year it takes on a meaning of its own, or whatever term you want to use. So it's good that they know that they're not where they need to be, but you still got to get out there and take care of business. The other team wants to win every night. So I take more comfort in knowing how we're playing. And as I've said, I think this stretch, we've been basically 500 now for January, February. I think we've played better than a 500 team, but your record is what you are. So we got to play better longer is what it comes down to. Can't have the lulls. We'd gotten out of that a little bit, got back into it in LA. Bad third period. So let's focus on 20 at a time and trying to build a 60-minute game. That's what we've tried to do all year. I mean, we've tried to build our game. You hear our guys say that. So you get closer and closer to 60 as the year goes on. Well, the year's getting on, right? Like we're almost at the three-quarter pole here. So things that like the LA game, they have to. The guys in the room have to treat that as a red flag. I got asked the other day, "Do you just flush it?" Well, I'm not flushing it because it's not November. We have to understand it's not acceptable, right? So that's the only quickest chance we have to correct that is now, today. So let's go out and take it to heart and correct it.
Longest homestand of the season. Is it well timed, and does it create expectations?
We always expect to play well, especially here, so we have. So expectations don't change. Does it come at the right time? That's a good question because we just did have a big break. Most of the players, there was 4 of them that didn't. So going on the road now after you've been off that long is not a bad thing. But we'll take advantage of it, what's in front of us, because we are going on the road right after it. So I don't know if the timing is good or bad, to be honest, once you're that well rested. So I don't know, Darren, to be honest with you. We just got to take advantage of that it is a home stretch and we should be fresh, right? That's what we got to take advantage of. Get back to solidifying our spot in the standings.